under the sections 168, subsection 1 of the 1997 Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia, appointed His Excellency Mr. Mohammed B.S. Jallow as Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia. As required by law, Mr. Mohammed B.S. Jallow, the Vice President, is to take the prescribed oath, that is the oaths of allegiance, oath of due execution of office, and oath of secrecy. I, Ali Njai, the Secretary of the Cabinet, have the honor to invite His Excellency Mohammed B.S. Jallow, Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia, to come forward and take the oaths and thereafter sign the oath book.
I, Mohammed B.S. Jallow, having been appointed as Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Republic of the Gambia according to law. So help me God. I, Mohammed B.S. Jallow, do swear that I will execute the functions of the office of Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia without fear or favor, affection or ill will, according to the Constitution and other laws of the Gambia. So help me God. I, Mohammed B.S. Jallow, having been appointed as Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia, do swear that I will not directly or indirectly reveal such matters as may be committed to my secrecy. So help me God. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of the Gambia, honorable ministers here present, Imam Ratib of Banjul, the Secretary General and Head of the Civil Service, the Chief of Staff of His Excellency, the President, staff of the Office of the Vice President, and the family members and friends. I welcome you all. First of all, I would like to thank you, Your Excellency, for the confidence bestowed in me in this appointment. I know that I have worked with you before as your Secretary General, and I'm honored and humbled that you felt it worthy, that what I did then satisfied you to enable you to appoint me once again to this high office. I myself and my family, we are very grateful for that confidence, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, permit me to also pay tribute to His Excellency, the late Vice President Badra Aliou Diouf. The late Vice President was my teacher and my mentor. And I think excuse me, I'm just trying to avoid being emotional. The late Vice President was a very committed individual. Like I said, he taught me in school, and he was also our permanent secretary at the Ministry of Education at the time. And his commitment to duty was unquestioned. And I'm sure some colleagues here can attest to that. He was somebody who was always going beyond what was required as a line of duty. We will spend hours in the office. Weekends, he will come back to the office to make sure that what should be done is done. So I really want to highlight that he had also sought us leadership. I remember on one occasion when we were working on the restructuring of the Ministry of Education and the challenges that he faced. In fact, I could remember one of the statements he made was that you cannot make omelette without breaking an egg. And just to show the challenge he faced, one of the subordinates said to him, the egg breakers will be broken. That showed the challenge. But and when I asked him later, I said, why do you put up to this? He said, I know that one day I'm going to leave. But when I leave, I want to leave a legacy. That was our former vice president. There was also another occasion which, Your Excellency, I want to share, which actually demonstrated leadership. When we were supposed to go to Washington to negotiate for a grant for a project on behalf of the Ministry of Education, we had a delegation. And some people went to the Secretary General at the time and said to him, these people at education, their delegation is too big. It needs to be reduced. He said to them, he said to the Secretary General, this team, I am the least important in the team. If there is anybody who is going to drop, I am the one who is going to drop. And Your Excellency, that was what he did. He made sure that everybody left, but he dropped from the team. Again, that shows leadership. So, Your Excellency, I join you in mourning him and the people of this country, the type of vice president that we had. And we owe a lot to him, myself, and some other people around in this August gathering, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, you have challenged us. You say whatever we do, it has to be based on rule of law and due process. I know that many people keep talking about Singapore. Many people keep talking about Rwanda, and even next door, Cape Verde. But I want to share, Your Excellency, that all these countries that are being mentioned, what people don't share is their commitment and their discipline. When we talk about Singapore, the first thing that Lee Kuan Yew did was to make sure that she brought discipline into the society and focus on basic services, that is basic education and basic health services. So, Your Excellency, we want to assure you that we are going to do all we can to make sure that the promises that you made to the electorate are fulfilled by working closely with the other cabinet colleagues. My predecessor, the former vice president, he talked about teamwork and team building. And I think he has already built the team. What is left for me is to continue with that team and make sure that it bears fruit. Your Excellency, I would want to make sure that your government is based on evidence-based decision-making. We have a lot, I know that for some of us, we have been hearing it, or we have been leading for so many years without data. But I think, Your Excellency, you cannot take informed decisions without relevant data. We thank the General Bureau of Statistics. They are producing a lot of statistics which many people are not using. It's my intention, Your Excellency, to make sure that I work with the relevant sectors so that they use all that data that is being produced over the years. We just don't produce data for the development partners. We produce data to make sure that we are making informed decisions, Your Excellency. I know that when you build infrastructure, people will say this is politicking. Now, Your Excellency, your government has made a lot of efforts in terms of education. But we know that there are still a lot of children who are still out of school. The data from the Ministry of Basic Education shows it, data from statistics also shows it. In order to move forward, we have to make sure that no one is left behind. Everybody has to come to school. Now, to do that means that we have to provide more resources. As evidence has showed, the last 10% to come to school is always the most expensive in terms of unit cost. Now, I was sharing, I hope your the Secretary to Cabinet, will allow me, because when I talked to him, he told me he's from Sambatako, and I said it's one of the success stories, because if somebody coming from that rural area has risen up to the level of Secretary to Cabinet, it's a success for the government, to make sure that we provide access to the remotest of communities. Those who know me know that I always like to talk about Nyankui. I'm not talking about Nyakoi, I'm talking about Nyankui. Nyankui is so remote. Yes, Your Excellency, you have done the Lamin Kota Pasamas road, but Nyankui is 15 kilometers from that road, down into a hill. So they have access problems, they have water problems, they have electricity problems. Now, can you imagine if you bring all of those services to that community, what impact it can make? We know that electricity is one of the most transforming in terms of economic growth. We have seen it, those communities which did not have electricity before, when they have, how it has transformed their economy. And the roads. Some of us who are in Banjul, we think that water is not a problem, because when you open the tap, the water comes out. But somebody in Makamasire, whereby their wells are as deep as 50 meters, sometimes even more, they have to use donkeys to draw the water. I think, Your Excellency, the program that you have initiated through the DSPD is something that we laud, and we want to make sure that we support, so that the resources are there, so that everybody has access to water and proper sanitation. Your Excellency, I would want to assure you that I would work together with the Ministers of Finance and Trade to make sure that the private sector is empowered, because it is the private sector that creates jobs. The government provides the relevant environment for the private sector to create jobs. And I think we owe it to our people to make sure that that is happening, even though we know there are challenges, but we also want to streamline some of the processes. Your Excellency, you have also initiated some public sector reforms. I want to assure you that we will work with the Ministers of Justice and Minister of Public Service to facilitate those public sector reforms. We know that one of the challenges of public sector reform is the legal environment and regulations. Some sectors I know were created since the First Republic. They have the legal mandate, but regulations were not promulgated. We want to make sure that we are able to close all of those gaps, Your Excellency, to facilitate the work. Your Excellency, you have also talked about effective civil service. I want to assure you that I will work with the Secretary General and the Minister of Public Service to make sure that we improve on the civil service so that it can go back to the glory days. When you appointed me as Secretary General, that was one of the challenges that you gave me, and I started on that road, and I'm assuring you that I'll continue to work with the Minister of Public Service and the Secretary General to make sure that we achieve the target that you have set for us. Your Excellency, finally, I would like to allow me to thank the people. I would first of all, with your permission, like to thank the Imam Ratib of Banjul, who has supported me all throughout. And I think everybody associates me with him. And I'm honored by his presence. In fact, to a point where people think that I'm from Medina Serigne. But I think it's an honor to be associated with such a personality. I also want to thank my family for all the support that they have given me throughout. It's not easy. But Your Excellency, permit me, I want to make a special thanks to the chairman of the Public Service Commission, Mr. Samate. When I was offered scholarship in 1989, my father could not afford to provide a guarantee. I'm very sorry. My father, when I told him that we need to have a guarantee, he said, let's go. Went to the PMO, the establishment at the time. As we entered the office, Mr. Samate was coming out of his office. And my father said to him, my son is going for studies and we need a guarantor. There and then, he just signed the papers without even asking. So I'm forever grateful. I'm glad the Honorable Samate is here. I want you to extend my thanks and appreciation to him. My father is late now for so many years, but I will never forget what he did for me. Your Excellency, I would like to also take this opportunity to thank my father's friends, the late MVO Jallow and his family. I think today we have Omar Sarr representing them here. Because I see myself as a symbol of friendship. I was born into that friendship, name me one after one of them. And I would also want to really single out Alhaji Kaba Jallow, because my father told me how much he has helped him personally. So, Your Excellency, I think I would want to stop here and thank everybody. Thank Your Excellency for the confidence, like I said, given me, and the support. I couldn't have performed my duties as Secretary General without your support, Your Excellency, so I want to applaud that. And I'm sure that you are also going to give me the same support that I need in this position. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Imam, ñu ngi la nuyu bu baax a baax di la ndokkeel nag di la congratulate ci appointment bi man su ma ñëwee si place nag dama dee seetlu bu ma seetloo ma gis ne njabooti vice président ay xaritam ak mbokkam ñoo toogee nii su ma xamee woon ñëpp tam waaye jabaram moom xamee naa ko bu ma gisee oso bi rek xam naa ne kooku mooy madame ñu ngi laa ndokkale madame jërëjëf. Your Excellency, the Vice President, Mr. Mohamed Jallow, Honorable Cabinet Ministers, Secretary General and Head of the Civil Service, senior government officials present, invited guests, Imam Ratib of Banjul, members of the media. I welcome you to this vital part of our governance process, as dictated by the constitutional responsibility conferred upon me as head of state. Having reflected on the many qualified Gambians for appointment to the second highest office of the state in the country, I deem it fitting to appoint His Excellency Mohamed B.S. Jallow as Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia. To his credit, Vice President Jallow has years of relevant experience in the civil service. Over the last decades, his progress in the service of the country landed him within the upper cadre of the administrative structure as permanent secretary at the Ministry of Education, and later at the office of the President, where I appointed him Secretary General and head of the civil service. Ladies and gentlemen, during his tenure as Secretary General, Mr. Jallow earned my trust and respect based on his performance and comportment. He demonstrated a high degree of professionalism and loyalty to the nation. Hence, his subsequent appointment to represent the Gambia at the Senegalo-Gambia Secretariat. While in active service, he also saw exemplary character and left his mark in the institutions he served. I trust his knowledge of governance and public administration will be an asset to the country, particularly with regard to the supervisory role he will play in overseeing the government institutions under his purview and his participation in cabinet deliberations. Vice President Jallow is assuming office at a time when the pace has been set to pursue our revised national agenda, as prescribed in the Green Fiscal Focal National Development Plan 2023-2027. Your Excellency, distinguished personalities, the recent performance contract signed with state-owned enterprises indicate my government's preparedness to set public service delivery targets. Such accountability tools are signposts for the implementation of our national development plans, and they need to be implemented in collaboration with all ministries, departments, and government agencies. The Gambian citizens have tasked us as a government to deliver on our promise of maintaining peace, security, and development in a transparent and accountable manner. Accordingly, I am deeply committed to leaving an enviable legacy which can only be achieved with the support and cooperation of all arms of government. I am confident that the public servants and the technicians in our midst are the engine for the realization of this aspiration. Nevertheless, the citizens have the responsibility of keeping us on our toes to deliver and positively and meaningfully impact the lives of Gambians. Consequently, the responsibility we shoulder is enormous. But with the sincerity, commitment, and dedication of every one of us, we can transform our dear Gambia in the shortest time possible. I welcome Vice President Jallow to Cabinet and call on him to continue serving the nation with due devotion. I also urge him to maintain and promote the cordial team spirit and high sense of professionalism that bind Cabinet members in our collective task of developing the Gambia with unquestionable sincerity. On behalf of the entire Gambian population, and Cabinet members in particular, I congratulate you, Mr. Vice President, on your appointment and wish you good luck and success during your tenure of office. In addition, I thank you for accepting to undertake the huge responsibility of executing the functions of the position of Vice President for the noble task of national development. I pray that Allah continues to bless the Gambia. I thank you for your kind attention.
العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين بحرمة اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح لما أغلق والخاتم لما سبق الناصر الحق بالحق والهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدره العظيم اللهم اجعل بلادنا غامبيا بلدا آمنا مطمئنا يأتي رزقا رغدا من كل مكان ونجنا من كل بلاء وقلاء وطاعون وسنن ووباء طاهر من ذنب ذلك بلادنا خاصة بلاد المسلمين عامة بحرمة اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح لما أغلق والخاتم لما سبق ناصر الحق بالحق والهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدره ومقداره العظيم سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين بحرمة لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله yàlla dénk nañ la réew mi nguur gi président bi ak mbooleem ñi nga xam ne ñu ci ronam di liggéey ñëpp tegu ci siraatal mustaqim amin